Hey Purple people, it's Jordan here. I'm back with another video. Thanks for watching my previous one on Prince vinyl and 12-inch records. This video is going to focus on my Prince CD collection. I've got over 300 Prince CDs to share with you today. I'm very excited to get into it. We're going to be looking at Prince and associated artists. So that's artists that Prince wrote for, or perhaps Prince played an instrument on one of their albums. We're not going to be including any bootlegs in the video today, although Prince did once call me a bootlegger. That's right. Don't believe me? Check out this clip.
Hey Prince, my name is Jordan Mimran, and I know you record a lot of music, and I'm curious how much music do you have in your famous vault, and how much of it do you rehash later? Do you ever use any of it later on? What are you planning on doing with it?
Trying to see if you fit the profile of a bootlegger.
Well, there you have it. That was 2004, almost 20 years ago now, at the Much More Music live and interactive presentation during the Musicology phase. So anyways, without further ado, let's jump right into it, starting with this CD, Minneapolis Genius. And this is what they're calling the historic 1977 recording, which Prince used as his demo to get a record contract with Warner Brothers. And that's what the CD looks like. Basically, we've got some great artists on here from the Minneapolis sound, like Andre Simone, Pepe Willie, all of Prince's friends at the time. Prince kind of passed this off as being a one-man show, but really it was all these very talented folks, very talented young folks putting it together at the time as a demo. Then we have Prince's very first CD, that's For You, and on the Warner Brothers records. This one happens to be sealed and made in France, as you can see on the back. You know, some of my favorite songs on here, Soft and Wet, Baby, and I'm Yours. Just As Long As We're Together also should get a shout out. All right. Moving right along, we've got Prince Self-Titled, and this is one of my favorite Prince CDs, really classic with a lot of the favorites. I Want to Be Your Lover, Sexy Dancer, Bambi, I Feel For You, It's Gonna Be Lonely. I mean, these are great R&B songs. And from 1979, this is my original Made in USA copy. Yeah, that's kind of my listening copy. Moving on to 1980, we have Dirty Mind, and this one is from the Forever Young series. Dirty Mind is, you know, an album when Prince kind of shifted, and you know, every album he sort of reinvented himself. Now he's sort of moving towards the Prince that, you know, we kind of know in popular culture. And so we've got Dirty Mind, Uptown, Party Up, you know, Do It All Night. Really amazing album, highly recommended. Prince Controversy, 1981. This is also my original listening copy from when I was a teenager. When it originally came out, I wasn't even born. I was born in 1982. This one is a Canadian pressing, you know, distributed by Warner Brothers. Title track Controversy, unbelievable, funky song. You know, Let's Work, also very funky. Do Me Baby, you know, Annie Christian. Those are all some of my favorite songs on that one. And during the same year, Prince started working with other artists. First, The Time, and we have this Morris Day and Jamie Starr, original The Time CD. And Jamie Starr is basically the alias for Prince. He didn't want to put his name on the album, so he made up an alias. And this is my you know, USA copy. And just really cool tunes on here. Get It Up, Girl, Cool, COOL. And yeah, really an unbelievable CD. This is an interesting one that I thought I'd include. It's Andreas Vollenweider. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. I could be wrong. Behind the Garden, Behind the Wall, Under the Tree. This is a CBS CD that Prince used to like playing, and he would play it at concerts during the Lovesexy era before the show. So when you're waiting for the band to come on and everybody's in the arena, this is what you'd hear, and it's very soft, kind of harp music. So, you know, I just thought I'd include that. There's no real Prince involvement there. 1982, we have Prince, 1999, the iconic album. This was a double album, you know, with some of his biggest hits. 1999, the title track, Little Red Corvette, Delirious, Let's Pretend We're Married, DMSR, which is Dance Music Sex Romance, Automatic, Something in the Water, Free, Lady Cab Driver, International Lover, All the Critics Love You in New York. I mean, just like every song is unbelievable on this one. And this is sort of the introduction of the revolution. They're not really called out on this album, but you've got Wendy in the band, and you've got you know, Brown Mark and Bobby Z and all these guys finally coming together with Prince. So if you don't know this album, you know, get to know it. That's an iconic one. And of course, I've got multiple versions. This one is also from the Forever Young series and kind of matches my Dirty Mind there. I love how as you know, the Japanese CDs are one of my favorite, Japanese vinyls, just because of the packaging, the quality, the attention to detail. It's really fantastic. You know, what you want to look for is obviously the OBI or OB packaging, and then a lot of times there's inserts, stickers, all sorts of stuff that they add on the Japanese pressings. A few years back, they came out with this 1999 deluxe edition, and they went into the vault basically and pulled out a lot of like vault tracks to include. I love this collection, by the way, highly recommend it. You know, it's got a remastered original album. It's got 2 CDs of vault tracks, including, you know, songs like Possessed, right? Moonbeam Levels, Teacher, Teacher, you know, songs that we knew from that era, but we didn't have, you know, original crisp recordings. This also comes with a DVD of a Live in Houston concert from 1982 with the Revolution, and a Live in Detroit CD live recording. But yeah, I mean, I love the packaging. I love, they have this little booklet here as well. And the way that they make it like a miniature LP vinyl set is just fantastic. So, you know, kudos to the Prince estate for putting out such a beautiful set on 1999. All right, still in 1982, our next CD is Vanity 6, which is another Jamie Starr production. And, you know, at the time, Vanity was Prince's girlfriend. This is a USA copy. I'm not sure if there was European CD as well, but this one's from 1982. And, you know, it's got songs like Nasty Girl, Drive Me Wild, Makeup, Bite the Beat, 3 times 2 is 6. And yeah, and then the time is actually credited on here as being the instrumental players, which is kind of cool. So, you know, speaking of the time, also in 1982, Jamie Starr and Morris Day came out with What Time Is It? Another classic Time album. You know, I've seen them live. I saw them live in New York a couple years ago, pre-pandemic, and they were just unbelievable still. You know, Morris Day, I'm not sure how old he is now, but he can just really pump up a crowd, and the songs are classics, so it's really a great time. But yeah, this is also, you know, another great time album with songs like Wild and Loose, the classic 777, 9311, The Walk, Gigolos Get Lonely, and again, that kind of classic Warner Brothers look on the actual CD. You know, if you're not sure ever if you've got the actual disc, or maybe it's a bootleg, or maybe, you know, it's the wrong edition, you can always look right here. They have what's called the Matrix Burnout. And so there's tiny little numbers here, and if you hold them in the right light, you can read the numbers and then go on discogs.com, and you'll be able to sort of figure out which edition you have and if it's the right one that you're looking for, or if it matches the cover that you have. Anyway, this Japanese version of the same album, I love this one. It's from the 80s Soul Classics, Warner Best 1000. And, you know, this one's still sealed, but this was a cheap collection that came out a few years back. I really love it because it highlights a lot of these R&B soul classics that you wouldn't normally find, and I love the consistency and the packaging and everything. So nice job on these ones, Warner. You know, I'm holding up this CD because there is a connection to Prince on this one. It's Ren Wood's As Is, also part of this 80s Soul Classics collection. And basically the last song on here, I Don't Want to Stop, was written by Prince, and this came out in 1982 as well. And I think this is the only edition you can find this song on. I Don't Want to Stop was written by Prince, but it was actually performed by Ren Wood's band. So they took the song, re-recorded it, released it, and then I'm not sure if Ren Wood's actually had an album after this. I think this was her last one. So there you have it. Gotta get it. If you want to have everything that Prince has done, then you gotta get that one. Another associated artist. Here's a 1982 album called The Wild Heart by Stevie Nicks, the famous Stevie Nicks, and this is produced by Jimmy Iovine. And there's a song on here called Stand Back where Prince plays keyboard. He's playing keyboard on the song Stand Back, and I think Stevie Nicks gave him a writing credit as well. So yeah, we love Stevie Nicks. Actually, I think on the Purple Rain graphic, you know, on the sleeve of the 12-inch, they have a white graphic with a black and red like eye. That is based on Stevie Nicks's eye. That's what how the story goes. But speaking of Purple Rain, that's next up in 1984. We kind of skip over 1983 because Prince was really working on this movie at the time and album, and so it's really the only time or only year that I can think of where he takes a bit of a hiatus and doesn't release a full studio album. So again, this is my play copy of Purple Rain, made in the USA, and you know, just the most iconic Prince album. If you haven't heard it, please go out and listen. If you haven't seen the movie, it's also a cult favorite. You know, I used to watch it all the time in the 80s. I've been to the theaters to see the movie as well. With songs like Let's Go Crazy, Take Me With You, The Beautiful Ones, Computer Blue, Darling Nikki, When Doves Cry, I Would Die For You, Baby I'm a Star, and of course, the title track, Purple Rain. How can you go wrong on this one? He won an Oscar for this, for the soundtrack. And actually, when I was there at Paisley Park in 2018 for Celebration, I was able to hold the Oscar, which was really cool. This is the graphic I'm talking about, which is based on Stevie Nicks' face. So Prince really loved Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac, of course. He cites them as an influence often. So this one came out in 2017. This is like deluxe edition, and it came out right after his death. It's a pretty cool remastering and deluxe edition of this classic album. Except I hate the packaging. I always feel like things are gonna fall out. The CD's gonna like fly out. So it's not like very secure. There's one of the CDs. Or rather, this is the DVD. It comes with a live DVD of Prince of the Revolution in Syracuse, March 30th, 1985. That's a classic live performance. I'm sure you guys are familiar with it. But generally, yeah, I mean, what's also cool about this version is that the remastered original album was approved by Prince. Before his death, he signed off on that. So, and then there's a lot of really cool vault tracks, like the Dance Electric, which was the original promo he must have given Andre Simone for his recording. Love and Sex, Our Destiny, Roadhouse Garden, Possessed, Father's Song, Wonderful Ass. I mean, all these songs that we've had for years in really crappy, low fidelity versions, on cassette tapes and stuff like that. We now have a nice, clean, crisp copy of that, along with, all the B-sides and the single edits. They really crammed a lot into this set. There's 4 discs in here in total. So, not a bad release. And then they had various, 2-disc releases. This one's from France, again, with just the original album, and then CD2 is from the vault and previously unreleased songs. Okay. And we've got a couple singles. I guess this one's more related to 1999, but I believe it was released in 1984. I could be wrong. It's a European single, CD single. I love these little CD singles because they've got dance mixes, full-length versions. Very rarely do they put an edit version on a CD single, which I like. So this one's got Lil Red Corvette and 1999. Okay, and then of course in 1984 we can't talk about 1984 without talking about the Times Ice Cream Castle, and just another amazing album by Morris Day and Prince, who goes by the Star Company, Jamie Starr. This one's got classic songs like The Bird, Jungle Love, My Drawers, If the Kid Can't Make You Come, all these songs, which are now just, classic songs, brought to you by Warner Brothers. Gotta have that one. And while we're on associated artists, one of the most well-known Prince associated artists is Sheila E., and this is her first album, which Prince convinced her to do, The Glamorous Life, starring Sheila E. And it's got songs like, of course, The Glamorous Life, which she still performs all the time live, Noon Rendezvous, The Belle of St. Mark. Not an easy CD to find these days, actually. Okay, let's move right along to 1985. In 1985, Prince made a huge departure from, his normal sound, from Purple Rain, which was like the height of his career. He followed up with Around the World in a Day, which was, the critics thought was completely different from what he was normally doing, and they compared it to a lot of Beatles music. This is my original listen copy, Canadian pressing. So nothing really too special about this just that I love the songs on here, you know, Raspberry Beret, some of his funkiest tunes like America, Pop Life, The Ladder, I love. So really great album, Around the World in a Day. Okay, then I've got a couple copies here of Sheila E.'s Romance 1600. This is a European release. Oh, I guess that's the difference. This one's European, and you can tell because it's got the little LC logo here in the fine print. And, you know, this CD has songs like Sister Fate, Dear Michelangelo, of course, Romance 1600. You know, there's a song called Bedtime Story. I'll just let you see the difference in the US version and the European version. Also, not an easy CD to find these days, you know, from 1985. I don't think they've done a repress since then, so you gotta pick up the original if you want it. The vinyl version might be easier to find, to be honest. Okay, also in 1985 we have the release The Family, and this was produced and arranged by David Z and The Family. So, you know, this is the first appearance of saxophone player Eric Leeds. We've got you know, St. Paul on lead vocals, and it's just like all the Minneapolis crew together, and Prince is producing it. We have Claire Fisher doing the orchestral production, and this is the first time we've heard the song Nothing Compares to You, which later becomes a massive hit for Sinead O'Connor. In the 90s, I believe. But yeah, some of my favorite songs on here: High Fashion, Mutiny, and The Screams of Passion. Okay, another CD you might be familiar with. This one gets a lot of radio play still today, or at least in Toronto it does. That's where I'm based, is Toronto, Canada. It's the Bangles. The album's called Different Light, and the song that Prince wrote for this album is Manic Monday. Just another Manic Monday. You must know that song. I mean, it's really a radio classic. Well, Prince wrote it. Okay, 1986, we've got the classic Parade, and this was the soundtrack for Under the Cherry Moon. Came out on Warner Brothers again, Paisley Park, Warner Brothers, and you know, Prince, you know, produced, composed, arranged, performed. He does give credit also, Prince and the Revolution. You know, I think some of Prince's most well-known songs are also on this CD, like Kiss, for instance. Everybody knows that song. Some of my favorites are Mountains, Boys and Girls, and Another Lover, Hole in Your Head. There's also the, you know, very haunting Sometimes It Snows in April, and as we all know, Prince passed away in April of 2016. But yeah, this was the soundtrack for a film called Under the Cherry Moon, which also Prince, you know, he directed, produced, starred in, and it was a big flop, of course. What are you gonna do? He couldn't match the success of Purple Rain. Very hard thing to do, you know, when you have such a huge smash hit. Very hard to replicate that. Okay, so, you know, there's a lot of songs that Prince wrote for other artists, and we don't always know it because he hid his name through aliases, and he didn't always want people to know that he was the writer of that music. And here we have Kenny Rogers. They don't make them like they used to, and Prince basically gave him this song, You're My Love, and I believe it was written under the alias Joey Coco. And yeah, if you hear the original version of this that Prince recorded, it's amazing to hear him sing like in a Kenny Rogers style vocal intonation, you know, very interesting. Okay. Also 1986, we've got Jesse Johnson, Shockadelica. Really cool album featuring Sly Stone. Prince is not as involved on here, despite the name Shockadelica, which we all know from the Lovesexy era. But, you know, this one has a song called Do Yourself a Favor. And that was a classic song, I believe Prince worked on with Pepe Willie and some of the other Minneapolis guys, you know, and then Jesse Johnson released it, I think for the first time, legitimately here on A&M Records, 1986. So definitely need that CD. Some other songs I really like, you know, Crazy with Sly Stone, Baby Let's Kiss, I like that one. Black in America, you know, really good stuff here from Jesse Johnson. I'm a huge Jesse Johnson fan. Okay, moving right along to 1987. We've got the unbelievable Sign of the Times, and this is for sure considered by a lot of Prince fans to be his, what they call magnus opus, you know, his great masterpiece. And it's a 2-disc set. You know, this is a USA copy, a repress, more recent one. But I like this one because it kind of comes in the regular slim jewel case. Yes, so many great songs on here, like Housequake, the title track Sign of the Times, Play in the Sunshine, Starfish and Coffee, It, You Got the Look with Sheena Easton, The Cross, Adore, which is the song that my wife and I danced to at our wedding, Strange Relationship, If I Was Your Girlfriend. I mean, this really is a fantastic album, and if you can believe it, when he originally wrote it, he wanted it to be much larger. I believe he wanted a 3-disc set. Warner said no to that one. But then later we get, you know, the deluxe edition. This one has a remastered. This is the 3-disc version. It's got Sign of the Times, the original remastered, as well as single mixes and edits. So that's all of the singles that came from the album kind of compiled into one. And then I also have the Super Deluxe edition, which comes with the vinyl records, and it's got the movie in there. It's got, which is a concert movie, by the way. It's not like a dramatic movie. It's got unreleased versions as well, unreleased songs from the vault, like Witness to the Prosecution, and some others that they pulled out of the vault, which I thought was really cool. Here is a promo CD. This would be the very first CD single from Prince ever, really. And If I Was Your Girlfriend, 1987, you can see here, promotion only, you know, not for sale. And it was made in the USA, and you know, I've still got the original cover here. I keep it in plastic, but I still got the original cover with the sticker, because I think that's what, you know, keeps the value of this particular single, because at the end of the day, there's nothing really special about the CD, the music on the CD. It's just the edit version of If I Was Your Girlfriend. It's really the whole package that's exciting with that one. So just going through 1987 with a few more associated artists, we have Jill Jones here, and this is you know, clearly co-produced, it says, by Prince on the back. Jill Jones, 1987, Warner Brothers. Got some more great Prince music on here. This was manufactured in Germany, this CD. But songs like Mia Boca, Baby You're a Trip, All Day, All Night. I mean, I love that. I love this album. It's really good. Highly recommended. Okay, next up we have Sheila E., self-titled, on the Paisley Park record label. And there's no real Prince writing credit or anything on here. It's produced by David Z, and It's Paisley Park Records, so I thought I'd have to include it. Okay, next up we have another Paisley Park artist. This is Taja Seville, and there's 2 songs on here written by Prince, Wouldn't You Love to Love Me, and Wouldn't You Love to Love Me, If I Could Get Your Attention. Of course, number 6, If I Could Get Your Attention. And this is from 1987. That's what the CD looks like. This is actually a really great CD. You know, real 80s sound to it, but some really cool tracks there. We've got another Morris Day CD from the 80s Soul Classics collection I was talking about before. And you know, Prince is not involved in this one either, but it's Morris Day, so you know, very close connection there. And you know, at this point in time, he's with Warner Brothers, but he's working independently, co-produced by Judith Day for Concentric Productions, and there's Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis Flight Time Productions on here as well. So obviously he was keeping in touch with all the Minneapolis boys at that point. Next up, from 1987, we've got Nona Hendryx. And Nona Hendryx, so Prince wrote a song for this album called Baby Go-Go, and he credited it to Joey Coco. That's what the CD looks like. This is a US copy. Nona Hendryx, Female Trouble from 1987. All right. Next for 1987, we've got Wendy and Lisa, their debut album, with a couple songs on here that I really like. Honeymoon Express, Waterfall, and yeah, just like, these are both the same album, by the way. Same CD. Just one is a European and the other one is a USA edition. And this one's on Virgin and this one's Columbia Records. So same songs, everything's the same, they're just different pressings. All right, so 1987, we also have Prince releasing the Black Album, or rather not releasing the Black Album. He created this and then at the last minute infamously, you know, asked Warner Brothers not to put it out and instead put out the Lovesexy album. I'm including it here because it's really a 1987 album. This particular CD, you can see the Made in Germany sticker there. The legendary Black Album was officially released by Warner in, I think, the 90s, like 93 or 94. But, you know, it was all written in 87. And he asked Warner's not to put it out and that he would record and produce the Lovesexy album instead on his own dime. 1988. We've got Lovesexy. This cover art was very controversial. A lot of stores like Walmart would have a little sleeve that covered everything except for his face. But basically the album, the CD, was released with a tracked and non-tracked version. Originally, the CD came with one track only, so you'd pop the CD in and all the songs would play continuously. You couldn't skip forward or backwards. And then this European copy, which is still sealed, has a tracked version, so you can skip to the next song or the previous song. And then I have these really cool US promos from Lovesexy. This one's Alphabet Street with an edit version, LP version, extended version, etc. These are not for sale. These are DJ releases only, straight from the record company. So it's cool that I still have the case with the original sticker, because those get broken a lot, you know. Here's another one, I Wish You Heaven, US promo CD. There's only one track on this CD. Again, Paisley Park. This is Glam Slam from Lovesexy, Glam Slam. Promo CD, not for sale, from Warner Brothers. This one has an edit version and the LP version, so really nothing to write home about on that one, just cool to have in the collection. All right, next up for 1988, we've got Apollonia, and there's no Prince writing involved here. I just thought I'd include it because, you know, he's so closely connected to Apollonia, the artist. He named her and gave her personality from the Purple Rain movie, essentially, and created that brand, that Apollonia brand. So this is from Warner Brothers Records. Not a particularly listenable album, in my humble opinion. Also, from '88, we've got Tyka Nelson, and this is also produced by David Z. But there's no Prince involvement other than this is Prince's sister. That's the CD there. Prince's sister. Yeah, and she was an artist, you know, and now not sure if she sold her stake in the Prince estate, but you know, she was controlling the Prince estate for many years after he passed away. Next up, 1988, we've got Chaka Khan, CK CD, and CK, you know, Chaka was working with Prince for many years. He gave her Feel For You, which became a huge hit for Chaka. They worked together for many years. This album has 2 songs written by Prince, Sticky Wicked and the song Eternity. But there's other covers on here like Stevie Wonder, Signed, Sealed, Delivered, I'm Yours. I just love Chaka Khan. Anything Chaka Khan's great, in my opinion. Okay, next up, another Paisley Park artist. We've got 3 O'Clock, and the album name is Vermilion. Vermilion was an album that came out and featured a song that Prince wrote called Neon Telephone. He wrote this song, you know, during the Purple Rain era, and there's a version that's out that Prince recorded originally. That's on the deluxe version of the Purple Rain album that we looked at earlier. Not a great album, not a great band. I think that was their one and only release. But Neon Telephone, you know, gotta have it in the collection if you want to hear everything Prince has done. Okay, so next up we've got Dale. This is an artist, a UK artist, Dale Riot in English. And it's another Paisley Park album. There's a song on here called So Strong that Prince wrote for Dale. I really hate this album. It's so bad, in my opinion. Her voice just can't stand it. So, you know, we'll just keep that for collectibles' sake. Sheena Easton, The Lover in Me. Sheena, longtime collaborator with Prince. She did a lot of work together with Prince, and on this particular album we've got the tracks 101 and Cool Love, which are, you know, co-produced and written by Prince. And again, the album name is The Lover in Me, from 1988. That's what the back looks like. You know, there's other Sheena Easton albums with Prince involvement that maybe I don't have. Again, I don't have everything. You know, I would say there's nobody really in the world that has every Prince and Prince associated artist CD. You know, you try and build your collection, and it takes a long time. So here's another Paisley Park artist. There's no Prince written music in here, but I thought I'd include it because it's a Paisley Park CD. The artist is Good Question, and the album name is also Good Question. And why anyone would listen to this is also a good question. It's a terrible CD. But I gotta have, if it's got the Paisley Park logo on it, I gotta have it. So there you are, good question. And this one has a deletion cut. That's from the record companies when they get products sent back to them from the stores, they'll discount it, and so that's what that means. Here's another one with a little deletion cut from Warner Brothers. This is the soundtrack to the movie Bright Lights, Big City, and it was an original motion picture soundtrack, and Prince gave them the song Good Love to include here. Good Love is an excellent funky song. I love it. This soundtrack is super 80s. You know, it's got artists like Donald Fagen on here from Steely Dan, Depeche Mode. Who else would you guys know? New Order and Brian Ferry tracks. But yeah, Good Love by Prince is #1 on the song list, and that's an excellent song from the Bright Lights Big City soundtrack. All right, next up we've got 1989's release, Batman. And here we have 2 of my listen copies. This one's probably the original Canadian version I bought back in 1989. I used to love this movie growing up, Batman, and the soundtrack and everything was just amazing. This one has a cool little hype sticker, which I love hype stickers, as you guys know. And you know, what can I say about this album? It's unbelievable, with The Future, Electric Chair, Arms of Orion, featuring again Sheena Easton, Party Man, Vicky Wading, Trust, Lemon Crush, Scandalous, and Bat Dance. I mean, how can you go wrong? This is a funky, funky album. Prince at his height. You know, I think he really wanted to do a good job on this one, as he always does. But in particular for the Tim Burton movie, you know, he really wanted to show off, I think, doing this. And this is a real tour de force kind of album. He even on Scandalous gives his father, John L. Nelson, a little credit. This is a Japanese version. And then I've got these cool, they're called like the Bat Tin. I've got one sealed version and one open, the Bat Tin. And this can includes a picture disc and a special 20-page booklet. There's the sticker on the sealed one. And there's like a little Made in England emboss on the back with a bat logo on the front. And I'll just open it up for you. Why, you know, all these UK, this is UK only. They get all the cool releases. So here's the booklet with just, you know, images and text from the Tim Burton 1989 movie. And this is what they call the picture disc, which is just a cropped Batman logo. At the time when the album came out, you had on the CD shelves, like if you'd go to HMV, you'd have the Batman album by Prince, and then right next to it you'd have another Batman soundtrack, but that was the more orchestral kind of Batman music from the movie by Danny Elfman. So at the time there were 2 major releases for the movie. And of course, with every Prince album, you've got to have the singles. So starting with the Scandalous Sex Suite, this is a 5-track CD with track 1, The Crime, track 2, The Passion, track 3, The Rapture, track 4 is a song called Sex, The 80s Are Over, and the Time Has Come for Monogamy and Trust. Okay, and track 5, When Two Are in Love, which was also part of the Black Album and Lovesexy. So yeah, this is a maxi single from Warner. We've got The Future. This is another really cool CD single. I love these small, thin CD singles. The Future remix and Electric Chair remix. We love the remixes, don't we? This is a European French pressing, only in Europe. Okay, then we have Arms of Orion single. This is this is a 3-inch release, very unique in this cardboard cover here, sleeve, if you will. And it's got the Arms of Orion. It's 3 tracks. I Love You and Me, which was at the time previously unreleased, and an edit version of Arms of Orion. You can see the way that this opened up, which is really precarious, actually. It's like, you don't know if the CD is going to drop out or whatever. I hate it. Okay, there you go. There's the 3-inch CD. Tiny little thing. Don't try and stick it in a CD player this way, because you're going to lose it. You know, and then I've got the original sticker that came with it. Ugh, these packs are just terrible, the way that they were designed. But I guess they were cheap for the record company to make. And I do kind of like the minimal graphics on the cover. All right, then we've got Madonna, Like a Prayer. And Like a Prayer features a song called Love Song. At the time, I think Prince was dating Madonna. And so Love Song was co-written by Prince. And I think he plays some instrumentation on the song. That's from 1989 as well. And I do have, let's see here. Yeah, so okay, that's Madonna, 1989. Geez. Well, then we've got, but let's talk about Brown Mark here. Brown Mark, this is a record, you know what, this is out of order, so, but we're gonna look at this one. There's no Prince involvement here. It's a Motown CD. And just like that, it's called Brown Mark, super funky bass player from the Revolution. And he went off, he had his own solo career there. And that's a really cool album. Back to 1989, we've got this made in Japan Paisley Park album, Time the Motion, with this Japanese artist. I'm gonna mispronounce her name, I'm sure, but Kahoru Kohorumaki, and Prince gave her a couple songs, including Mind Bells, to include here. And this is a super rare CD to find. If you get one with an OBI as well, or an OB, even more rare. But I'm pretty happy to have this in my collection, because it's hard to find. All right, 1989, Patti LaBelle, and this album featured a couple songs by Prince, including Love 89 and Yo Mista. Yo Mista. There's a view of the CD and the inside there. Another big collaborator with Prince and major artist in his own right, George Clinton on Paisley Park Records, The Cinderella Theory. Cinderella Theory, I think there's a song number 4 here, Why Should I Dog You Out? That was the single, and that has Prince involvement. All right, drummer for the Revolution. We've got Bobby Z's self-titled album, also from '89. There's no Prince songwriting credits. You can see the cases, the jewel case is all busted up here. But I thought it was definitely appropriate to include in my Prince collection because, hey, who else has collaborated with Prince longer than Bobby Z? Nobody. You know, he played drums with him for so many years. Tony Lamons. This is a French pressing of Tony Lamons on Paisley Park Records, and there's the song Higher Than High, and Cookie Crumbles was the single for this one. And this is cool because I don't know if you can see it in the right light. You've got the W for Warner Brothers embossed on the cover of the jewel case, which to me means that it's the original jewel case for the CD. And poor guy Tony died pretty young. I think shortly after this album came out. He had a really cool kind of Prince look there, and he rode a motorcycle. Mavis Staples. This has Prince written all over it, and literally on the back, produced by Prince. There's no skirting around that, no aliases. He just says it's produced by Prince. And there's some great songs on here. I love Mavis Staples, and it's a Paisley Park CD. He is credited with a bunch of these songs, like Time Waits for No One, Jaguar, 20th Century Express. Just a really fantastic album. Also getting harder to find on CD. All right, back to Brown Mark. You know, I actually think that this one, oh no, this is the second one, yeah. This is Brown Mark. It's called Good Feeling. Amazing album, just amazing, from Motown. You can see that's the Motown label we all know and love. And Prince wrote the song Bang Bang. That's the first one on the album. And he performs on here as well. There's also production by Levi Seeker Jr. And I just love the songs. I love this one song, track 8, Cruisin' in particular, but highly recommend this one for sure. Okay, back to Wendy and Lisa. They released this album, you know, in 1989 on Virgin Records. It's called Fruit at the Bottom. And there's a song on here called Lolly Lolly. There's no real Prince involvement again, but Lolly Lolly did come out as a single called Lolly Lolly according to Prince. And basically Prince did a remix of that song for, you know, a single release, which I don't have, unfortunately. Yeah, wow, we're getting through this. A couple CDs I forgot here before we move on to the 90s. This is His Majesty's Pop Life, which was originally a vinyl release that later, after his death, came out on CD, and basically it's a lot of remixes and album versions. It's a compilation of Prince music up until 1985. It was for radio stations and DJs only. And then again, 1985, the live show in Syracuse, the iconic Prince and the Revolution show that was broadcast around the world, was re-released. I think it was 2021 or 2022, so pretty recently. And this is a Japanese version. Includes the CD, the music, a Blu-ray of the concert, and you know, much more. So yeah, this is cool to have, and it's a blue spec CD too, which means that it's super high quality. So just wanted to touch on those before we move along. One more I'd like to touch on, which isn't exactly Prince related, but it's called Purple Snow, Forecasting the Minneapolis Sound, and it's this beautiful little box set on early Minneapolis music from the 70s. Oh, and like there's a picture of Prince right there. Essentially, these are the artists from the 70s that would have influenced Prince. Maybe he would have played with a few of them. And, you know, there's artists such as like Flight Time, Alexander O'Neal, Andre Simone is on here, 94 East. They put a song from them, and the Lewis Connection. So a lot of, this is like, they call it Forecasting the Minneapolis Sound, because this is a lot of the music pre-Prince, who really defined the Minneapolis sound. Okay, so with that, you know, we're gonna move on to the 90s and Graffiti Bridge. So Graffiti Bridge, this was an album that came out in association with the movie Graffiti of the same name. Graffiti Bridge was a movie that Prince produced and directed. It was supposed to be the sequel to Purple Rain. Was a terrible movie, but it was a great album. with songs like Tick Tick Bang, Thieves in the Temple, New Power Generation, one of my favorite songs, Elephants and Flowers, Round and Round with Tevin Campbell, Release It, you know, performed by The Time. So this one has a cool hype sticker, so I just keep that in the collection. And then I've got another Japanese version with the Obi packaging. So that's from 1990. And of course we've got a promo single here of Thieves in the Temple. It's just one song, not for sale. This is what they would have sent DJs at the time to play on the record, or on the radio, excuse me. And it's just one song, the album version, 3 minutes and 20 seconds. I've also got this Japanese CD, basically a Funky Weapon remix of New Power Generation. It's got Thieves in the Temple remix, house mix, Temple House dub, New Power Generation, MPG Funky Weapon remix, a TC Ellis rap, a Brother with a Purpose featuring Tony M, a Get Off, The Lubricated Lady, Love Left, Love Right. Again, this is a Japanese release. It would have come with an Obi packaging piece, which I don't have, unfortunately. That's okay. I picked that up at a really nice little record store in Paris, actually. It was a nice find. We've got another single from Graffiti Bridge. This is New Power Generation, and it's got New Power Generation Part 2, and Melody Cool extended remix. And again, that is a European release only. It says made in France there. And again, if you see that little LC logo, I don't know if you can see it there, but that's how you can tell if it's European or not, or what it is. And of course, you can't talk about Graffiti Bridge without talking about The Time. We've got Pandemonium. This is a US version. This is obviously a Japanese version of the album that came out at the same time as Graffiti Bridge. Another really cool album from The Time, featuring songs like Jerk Out, Pandemonium. There's a song on here called Donald Trump, black version. And songs that I particularly like are Skillet and Databank. So yeah, if you don't know it, Pandemonium. Also getting harder to find on CD. But there were a couple singles from that era, including Chocolate. This is a US promo. Chocolate, the CD, with an edit, a remix edit, and an album version. With coordinating producers Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, and Jesse Johnson. So I feel like this is like the last time like the original The Time were together and producing music together for Paisley Park. And I bet you never seen this one, this CD with the big chocolate sticker on the front, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. And then we've got the iconic Jerk Out, and this is the CD single with the edit, sexy dub, and sexy mix at 8 minutes 49 seconds. You know, also a UK release. Why do I have so many European releases? Must be all my my European friends. Shout out to Richard Bratt. Shout out to Phil Sims, who always helped me stay current with my collection and find those items that I normally can't find here in North America and Canada. All right, continuing on, another Minneapolis legend. Here's St. Paul, and this is the original album. I'm not sure that there's any Prince involvement here. It's called Down to the Wire. All right, so we've got next Cool School. This really has no Prince involvement at all. I just thought it was a really neat album and hard to find album, so I wanted to share it with you guys. Jesse Johnson put this together and produced it. My favorite track on here is Take Me, but really cool, you know, from the 90s, and it's, what can I say? It's got that real Minneapolis sound to it from 1990. Another Madonna single, Keep It Together, and it's got a single remix, 12-inch remix, and extended mix, including an instrumental mix. This is from Like a Prayer, and I think Prince was playing keyboard on this, so gotta have it, gotta have it. If Prince is involved, I want it. All right, Elisa Fiorillo, and the album is I Am, from Chrysalis, and Prince is on a bunch of these songs like Ooh, I Need This, and I Am, and so he really liked Alyssa's sound, I guess, and so he wanted to contribute to her album at the time. Here we have another artist that Prince really liked, I guess, Mika Paris, and in 1990 he gave her If I Love You Tonight to be included on this album. You know, I think that's about it. He just, this was a song that he gave a few artists, Mika Paris and Maite, his ex-wife. All right, so moving along to 1991, we've got the fantastic and very successful Diamonds and Pearls album. This one has the holographic cover. This is an original version, CD version, and this one's all marked up because it's signed by the New Power Generation. It's the first appearance of the New Power Generation band, and so it's a pretty special album. It's got great songs like Diamonds and Pearls, you know, Get Off, what's another great one, Live for Love, I like, and you know, there's Willing and Able, Cream, you guys know Cream for sure, and then we've got these two versions. That's sort of like more of the stock cover. This is like my original Canadian play version, and then this is a UK edition. I can show you what the CD looks like here. Okay, I think most of us are familiar with this album. It sold so many copies back in 1991. And then we've got these two CD singles. We've got Diamonds and Pearls, and these are really cool because they've got that, I don't know if you can see the sparkle, diamondy sparkle to them. And there's also, on this one, Diamonds and Pearls, track 2 is To the Wire, creamy instrumental. Track 3 is Do Your Dance. And yeah, that's from the Diamonds and Pearls album. This one is Money Don't Matter Tonight. Again, these are UK releases. You know, the UK gets all the cool releases, sparkly editions. This one actually is really cool because it's got a non-album track called Call the Law, which is really like a Tony M kind of song. I like that because I love Tony M. Okay, so also in 1991, we've got Tevin Campbell's first album produced by Quincy Jones, and the song Round and Round is the first one on the album. T for Tevin. Prince really launched Tevin's singing career. He was very young, and you know, he's a great singer. All right, Patti LaBelle, Burnin'. Patti LaBelle. So I think there's one song on here by Prince. It's been a long time since I've looked at this one. There's actually a song written by Martika in here. and I Hear Your Voice, written by Paisley Park with Rosie Gaines. We all know that's Prince. So yeah, that's Patti LaBelle burning. And yeah, he worked a lot with Patti. Okay, Martika's Kitchen. Martika is a really interesting artist this is 1991, Sony Music, and I think there's about like 4 of the 12 songs in here are written by Prince, including Martika's Kitchen, the title track, and Love Thy Will Be Done, you know, and a couple others. I love that song, Love Thy Will Be Done, really cool. Really cool song. All right, so then we have this smash hit CD, Celine Dion, self-titled. With This Tear is the song written by Prince, and it's the second last song on the album. And Prince wrote it for Celine. And there you have it, so gotta have that one in the collection. All right, Eric Leeds. Eric Leeds is the saxophone player, amazing saxophone player. Times Square, this one's got a Eric Leeds signature on the inside. It's a signed copy on the Paisley Park Warner Brothers record. I believe Prince was involved with the songs The Dopamine Rush and Times Squared. Executive producer Alan Leeds. Yeah, I really like Eric Leeds' sound, so that's cool. Here's another Sheila E. record. This one's called Sex Symbol, pun intended there. Sex Symbol had no Prince involvement, but you know, it's Sheila, so I'm gonna include it just for your info. We've got Paula Abdul. Paula Abdul, 1991. This is an album called Spellbound, and on Spellbound there's a song called You, just like the letter U, and that's written by you know who, Prince. Moving along, we've got another couple of singles, slim CD singles from Wendy and Lisa. Don't Try and Tell Me from the Erotica album, and also Rainbow Lake. There's no Prince writing on that one, but again, Wendy and Lisa, we love you, and they write great music. Okay, next we've got Allegiance by Howard Hewitt. Howard Hewitt's a great classic R&B singer, and the title track, Allegiance, was written by Prince. So that's what the CD looks like. Okay. All right, and we're into 1992. And this is a special year because Prince had changed his name to the Symbol. And now we know this album as the Love Symbol album. But it didn't really have a name. It was just Prince and the New Power Generation with the Symbol. And I've got a couple copies here. Couple copies including Japanese sealed with some hype stickers there. Because we love the Japanese versions. And then this limited edition version that came out, you know, in 92. I'll just open it up for you if I can get it out. And it's all gold with a picture disc. Okay, and a little booklet here. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And you know, I've seen my copy kind of looks blue, like the Symbol looks a little blue. Some of them look blue, some of them look a little purple. I'm not sure if that's like sun fading or if they actually had two different pressings of the same album. It's an amazing CD, to be honest. It's got some of my favorite songs on here, like 3 Chains of Gold, Sexy MF, My Name is Prince. You know, what else is on here? The amazing Sweet Baby, Damn You, 7. So, of course, we've got a couple CD singles as well, like 7. And this album has an album edit version, acoustic version, the After 6 version, and the After 6 long edit. And yeah, again, you guessed it. This is a LC, European copy. And this is an interesting one. The Morning Papers by Prince and the New Power Generation, which features 3 tracks. Morning Papers, Live for Love, which is from the Diamonds and Pearls album, the previous album, and Love to the Nines. But really cool CD single. Okay, and also in '92, we have this Morris Day release. Not a great one. It's called Guaranteed. But again, it's Morris Day, so I gotta have it in the collection. And there's no real Prince involvement. I think they were sort of estranged at that point in time. All right, moving on. We have El DeBarge from '92. This one's called In the Storm. And the song that Prince wrote for this album is called Tip of My Tongue. Super funky, super cool. Love the album artwork on this. You know, Warner Brothers production. And yeah, I recommend this CD for sure. Lois L. with the album Precious, who was originally Lois Lane. But I think she had to change her name because of copyright issues with DC Comics and the Superman character Lois Lane. So now she goes by Lois L. The CD is also from '92. And there's a bunch of songs on here, including Qualified. That's the first song. And the third song called Sex. And those are written by Prince and Levi Seeker Jr. Also, Kirk Johnson involvement on the song Qualified. Okay, another CD by Tyka Nelson, Prince's sister. This one's called Yellow Moon, Red Sky. And there's her picture right there. You know, I think Prince was very supportive of his sister, but didn't give her any songs, or there was no involvement by Prince here, other than, I'm sure, just brotherly support. All right, Ingrid Chavez, Hippie Blood. Ingrid spent a lot of time with Prince. I think at this point in his career, she was featured in the Graffiti Bridge movie, and this is a Paisley Park record. And there's all sorts of different mixes on the CD, you know, from the Free Spirit edit, Keep It Pumpin' mix, the Commune mix, album version. There's the Funky House edit, the Happy Hippie mix, the Club mix, and the Freedom's Beating Heart mix. Wow. So Ingrid Chavez, Hippie Blood, you know, very 90s, cool 90s sound. And great artwork, great photography on the cover, I must say. Okay, another Prince protege and ex-girlfriend of Prince was Carmen Electra. And he wrote this album for her. This is a Japanese pressing. I don't have the OB packaging to go with it, but you know, not a great album overall, I would say. Yeah, not very listenable. Fantasia Erotica, you know, Go-Go Dancer. Okay, whatever. All right, this is a cool one. Toys soundtrack. You know, this is a movie with Robin Williams, and there's a song on here called the Closing of the Year, and it's the main theme for the movie. And Wendy and Lisa wrote that music and perform it for the movie. So I just thought I'd include that as well from 1992. Who else do we have here? Joe Cocker, very famous singer from the 60s and 70s. 92, he released this album called Night Calls. And on it, there's a song called 5 Women, which is written by, guess who? That's right, Prince. Okay, another record with Prince involvement. This one's by an artist called Louie Louie, and that's the name of my son. Louis. And the album's called Let's Get Started. Let's Get Started, and there's the song Get Blue, which is produced by Paisley Park, and also Dance Unto the Rhythm. I mean, if you've ever heard of a more fitting Prince name, Dance Unto the Rhythm, that's a Prince song for sure. When you see Paisley Park here as the credit, that means Prince, essentially. So that takes us to 1993 with the release of the album Come. And this was not a huge album at the time. I think it's gained a lot of popularity. It's interesting how he puts on the front of the album 1958 to 1993, because that's the day he was born, the date 1958, and then 93 is the year that he's changed his name to the Symbol. So, he's saying that Prince is dead and long live the Symbol kind of thing. Here's a Japanese version, what that looks like, with some Japanese stickers on the back. Some of my favorite songs on here are Space, Let It Go, Race is a cool one. All right, and then we've got, the single, Let It Go, with Alexa de Paris extended version and Pope on this sort of cardboard sleeve CD single from the Come album. All right. Also in 93, this is actually 94, he's releasing The Beautiful Experience, and The Beautiful Experience is basically the most beautiful girl in the world song. A bunch of different mixes, including Mustang instrumental, flute instrumental, Mustang mix, Stacks of Wax mix, really great song, and a must-have for any Prince collector. One CD, here's another one. This one seals with a hype sticker, The Most Beautiful Girl in the World. It just has two versions of the song. That's what the back looks like. One CD that I would love to have is the interactive CD-ROM. I don't have that one. Let me know in the comments if there's any CDs that you have that I've missed here, you think I should have, or ones that I've included that you love. Let me know. Let me know what your CD collection looks like. Here's another Most Beautiful Girl in the World CD. This one's called Stacks of Wax, and it's got also a sexy saxophone and guitar version from Bellmark Records. I think you could only get these ones in the MPG stores back in the day in Minneapolis, or I guess London. Okay, Candy Dulfer. Candy Dulfer, this is an amazing CD from BMG. It features a song by Prince called Sunday Afternoon. Sunday Afternoon was written by Prince for Candy, amazing saxophone player, as I mentioned before. And my favorite song on here is the title track called Sax A Go-Go. It's track number 2. And it just hits all the right notes. Mavis Staples. Mavis Staples and Prince worked together quite a bit. This is from '93. He's an executive producer on this album, The Voice. And she certainly is the voice. She's got an unbelievable singing voice, and just a legend, Mavis Staples, one of my favorite artists. So happy that she was able to work with Prince. He's all over this album, from the song Melody Cool to, the song The Voice. She even does a song of Prince's Positivity, which is on the Lovesexy album. She does her own version here. Ricky Peterson does a lot of the production, and really cool album. There's a few different, like if you get the European version of the CD, I think there's different artwork on the cover. It's the same music though. All right, here's one from Eric Leeds, and I think Prince was involved in one song on this album. The album's name is Things Left Unsaid, and Aguadilla is the song he contributed to on this one. Again, Eric Leeds, really cool saxophone jazz, jazzy funk, unbelievable stuff. Okay, moving on to Kate Bush. You probably know that name because she's been very popular over the last few years due to the Stranger Things Netflix show. She came back on the charts, and good, really good for her, and it's amazing. This album, The Red Shoes, it's sort of been forgotten. It's got a really 80s sound to it, in my opinion. It's from 1993. And there's a song on here called Why Should I Love You, which Prince wrote and gave to Kate Bush because I think, he was a big fan of her sound. Okay, Moni Love. Moni Love was a UK rapper. That's her album, In a Word or Two. Prince provided writing for a few songs, including this one. This is the single Born to Breed, which actually did really well on the charts in that year, which was 93. Yeah, 93. And of course, Levi Seeker Jr. has also got some writing credits on here. Born to Breed, yeah, it's got that 90s rap sound to it, but it did unbelievably well on the charts for a Paisley Park artist. All right, Javetta Steele. Javetta Steele album from 93. There's a bunch of songs on here. Open Book, skip to my, Open Book, Here It Is, and Hold Me. These are songs that Prince gave Javetta for this album. Also, Levi Seeker is on here. And it's a really good album. This is super listenable. I highly recommend it. It's got a real vibe to it. Still holds up today. The Steels gospel group. The Steels, this was produced by Ricky Peterson. Made in Germany CD, and basically the song Well Done, number 4 on the album, that's a song Prince wrote and gave the Steels, excuse me. Okay, Earth, Wind and Fire. I bet you didn't know that Prince wrote a song for Earth, Wind and Fire. Or at least they included it on this album called Millennium from 93 as well. And the song's called Superhero. Number 12, Superhero. And yeah, not a very well-known album, not his best stuff, but hey, there it is. All right, so then in 93, 94, Prince is getting into his dispute with Warner Brothers, and I don't know if this is related to their fight or whatever, but we've got the hits and the B-sides that is released, which is this is a 3 CD set with this Fat Boy case. Basically, disc 1 is like one of the best greatest hits compilations ever. Disc 2, more of his greatest hits. Literally each CD is 18 songs of hit music. I mean, that's how many hit songs Prince had. And then disc 3 is really cool because the B-sides included, all compiled onto one CD, like Hello, 200 Balloons, Escape, Horny Toad, Feel You Up, Erotic City, Shockadelica, Power Fantastic, La La La, He He He, all these great songs. I like this one especially. You can see the hype sticker there. But they sold them individually, just like this. The hits 1, the hits 2. This was a copy that came out a little bit later because they kept printing these. These were very popular. And this hype sticker is really cool because at the time Prince had come out with his own version of 1999. And so Warner's wanted to say, hey, you know, if you want the original, it's here on the hits #1. And here's the advisory sticker for the hits #2. Yeah, really, really one of the best compilation albums ever. And I mean, who comes out with singles from a compilation album? Of course, Prince does, including Pink Cashmere. And this CD, UK CD, has Pink Cashmere as well as, you know, Paisley Park from 1985 and Glam Slam. This CD also UK only. You know, it says here, at the time this artwork was prepared, the track Peach was previously unreleased. However, Peach is now available as a track on the Hits 2 compilation. Peach, we've got Mountains, a Party Man edit, and Money Don't Matter Tonight. So this is a really cool little compilation single. Okay. So now we're going to get into some MPG, Paisley Park MPG artists. This is 1-800-NEW-FUNK. This is a compilation CD from the 90s. Obviously I'm listening to it a lot because the little teeth are broken on the jewel case. That's what the CD looks like. And basically there's a lot of like Paisley Park artists on here. And Prince is just trying to show like it's like a sampler, a promotion piece. He's trying to show the music that they're creating here and the diversity. There's everyone from Madhouse to Mavis Staples, Margie Cox is on here, the New Power Generation, the Steels, Maite is on here. Very cool CD and still, you know, still somewhat available, I'd say. Here's one of the songs that's on that 1-800-NEW-FUNK CD, and it's called MPLS by Minneapolis, the group, and it's also got the song The Ride Divine. Now this is an extremely hard CD to find. I'd value it at almost 1,000 Canadian dollars. There must be maybe, you know, only 100 of these out there, maybe a couple hundred at the most. It says Made in Canada on the back, so you know I have a special affinity to this one. But you know, basically you had to call in 1-800-NEW-FUNK, order it, and they would deliver it. But super limited run on this single from 1994, I believe. Another very rare CD is Together by MPG, which has an album mix, 12-inch mix, an interview, instrumental with the MPG, and it's a really great song, you know. So the MPG was a band in their own right that produced music, not just with Prince, but on their own as well. All right. And then as well in 94, we've got TLC with a cover of If I Was Your Girlfriend. This is their very successful Crazy Sexy Cool CD. You know, I thought I'd just mention that quickly. Okay, so 94, we've got this CD from the Hornheads. And this is like Minneapolis funk group, brass horns. They do a lot of like jazzy, funky stuff that influenced Prince. And he used them and a lot of their riffs on The Gold Experience. This is one of my favorite albums, The Gold Experience. Here's a sealed one from 95. And you know, songs like Dolphin, 319, Billy Jack Bitch, I Hate You, of course the title Gold, Endorphin Machine, The Most Beautiful Girl in the World. This is just an amazing album. And when everybody in the 90s had kind of written off Prince, he came out with this and blew everyone away. You know, blew me away anyway. And here's a Blue Spec 2 CD that they just re-released a couple of years ago. Sony Music did, rather. And it's a Japanese pressing. I haven't opened it because I have quite a few other versions of the album, so it's just for collector's purposes. And this was the stock Japanese release of the CD back in '95 with the OBI. All right, and we've got the Japanese CD single of Gold, and this is the American version of Gold, which has the edit version, the album version, and then it's got, you know, this limited edition Gold CD features Rock and Roll is Alive, and it lives in Minneapolis. So that was a song that Prince wrote in '95 to, it was a response to Lenny Kravitz, really, who came out with a track called Rock and Roll is Dead. So he said, no, Rock and Roll's alive. It lives in Minneapolis. You know, knowing Prince, he's probably thinking, I am rock and roll, you know? All right, so the Versace Experience, I thought I'd include that here. It's a Blue Spec 2 CD. The quality on this is terrible, by the way. This is basically Prince. He released this as a cassette first for the Versace fashion show in '95, and attendees of the fashion show got the cassette, and you know, for years and years it was like a really exclusive release because there were only a couple hundred out there, and if you didn't go to this fashion show you couldn't get one. Yeah, it's called Versace Experience Prelude to Gold, and basically it's the same as the Gold Experience, except every once in a while he comes on and goes, Versace, Versace, you know, it's whatever. Okay, so Maite, this is essentially a Prince album on MPG Records. Prince wrote all the music for this, copyright '95, MPG. There's some really cool songs on here though. If I Love You Tonight, Rhythm of Your Heart. I like the cover of Brick House, which they're calling House of Brick. And they do, you know, the Most Beautiful Boy in the World, which I also have the single for here, which is like a version of The Most Beautiful Girl in the World. And she also does, you know, a Spanish version of the song. Here's the CD single for Most Beautiful Boy in the World. All right, so yeah, Maite. Maite is Prince's first wife, ex-wife, and yeah, she met Prince, you know, when she was fairly young, and she became a member of the MPG. Originally, she was a belly dancer. All right. Exodus by the New Power Generation. This is one funky, funky album. And of course, you've got Prince right there on the cover, but he's in his dispute with Warner Brothers at the time. So the graphic is kind of obscured there. And then I've got a bunch of singles from Exodus. Actually, first one, sorry, here's another one from Gold Experience before we get onto that. This is, that kind of got out of order again. That's gonna happen with 300 plus CDs. So this is I Hate You, maxi single. And this is again a European release with a 7-inch edit without guitar, album edit, Quiet Night mix by Eric Leeds, extended remix, and album version. Really cool song, I Hate You. Apparently the story is there that it was written for Carmen Electra. All right, so yes, so we're into '95 and Exodus, the Exodus album, some amazing songs on that one. Some of my favorites like Get Wild, and here's a single, the single, This is obviously UK because you got the HMV sticker there for £2.99. And then Count the Days. That was an interesting release. Count the Days. This is with B-side New Power Soul. Again, these are all UK. And shout out to Richard Brad on these. I think I got them from Richard. The Good Life. The Good Life CD single, maxi single. This one's actually signed by all of the MPG. Let's see here. Yeah, there's a lot of cool mixes on here. Platinum People Edit, Platinum People Mix, Dance, Divas Mix, Bullets Go Bang Remix, Big City Remix, and of course the album version. That's The Good Life. Let's see, where are we here? And I think I have, yeah, a couple copies of The Good Life. Or really, I think these are two different versions. Let's see here. What is the difference? Yeah, well, the artwork is different for one. And the track list looks pretty much the same. So I think actually this is a UK one that's signed here. And oh, this is also UK because it's got that 3 for £10 sticker, which is an original sticker obviously from 1995. Okay, and we've got also from 95 Controversy Music, we've got the Purple Medley, a really terrible mix of Prince's best songs, really great songs, but I hate the Purple Medley. And then you've got Kirk J's B-side remix, whatever. But I've also got a promo of the Purple Medley, promotional, not for sale, from Warner Brothers, 95. Okay. Also 95, you've got Margie Cox, Standing at the Altar, including Madhouse. Madhouse is featured on the CD. Madhouse 17 is the track. And it's all from MPG Records. Standing at the Altar is the Margie Cox song. And you can see Madhouse 17 artwork right there. That's what the inside looks like there. All right. That's the CD. Okay, another George Clinton album here. And this is Hey Man, Smell My Finger on the MPG label. It's got songs like Martial Law, Paint the White House Black, Hollywood, you know, The Big Pump, Rhythm and Rhyme, Get Satisfied. So, yeah. Rosie Gaines. Rosie Gaines was, I heard she was performing this year at Celebration at Paisley Park, which is really cool. So we've got the song I Want You on here, purple version. You know, when you see purple version, Prince has got to be involved there. This is Closer Than Close, the album. Closer Than Close. And this is I Want You promo, which was not for sale. And it's got purple version, I Want You Eminem anthem mix, I Want You Earth Mama version, and I Want You Weekend mix by Rosie Gaines. It's got that cool hype sticker, promo only. Executive producer Steve McKeever, and this is on Motown Records. Motown. All right, 96, a really big year for Prince because he was fully emancipated from his Warner Brothers record contract, and he releases this 3 CD set. Finally, he can release a 3-disc set, and he calls it Emancipation, of course, with some amazing songs like Jam of the Year, Somebody Somebody, you know, White Mansion, love that song. you know, I Can't Make You Love Me, which is a cover of a Bonnie Raitt song, I believe. I think this is the first time he's doing cover songs. You know, he does, he's also, you know, at this point he's still with Maite. So yeah, there's like La 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 means I love you, Let's Have a Baby, you know, all these sort of love songs. And then some other ones that are pretty cool. It's like Email, My Computer, and then of course the title track Emancipation. And yeah, I've just got a couple versions here. I guess a Canadian and a US. Yeah, this is the US, this is Canadian. Not much different except for the sticker on the front. Then of course I've got a Japanese version with the OBI. 3 hours of love, sex, and liberty. That's how they say it. And yeah, there's a really cool performance and interview with Oprah at the time when this came out. You could probably find it on YouTube as well. And then after his death, the Prince estate, I think along with Sony Music, released this Blue Spec 2. They re-released it as vinyl and CD. This one's Japanese Blue Spec 2. Really nice little package. And I haven't really opened it because I want to keep it nice and minty. And I have the music, of course. Couple singles from that era. The Holy River here. Holy River single, and there's an edit radio mix. There's also The Most Beautiful Girl in the World is on here. Somebody, Somebody, and then his little promo, On Sale Now. You know, he used to do that a lot with his CDs, is throw in a little promo track to remind you to, you know, go to mpg.com or 1-800-NEW-FUNK and buy something, you know, like this hat or whatever. The Holy River, again, this is another CD single with a bunch of Somebody remixes on here, like the edit version, live studio mix, and Ultra Fantasy edit. Okay, and then in 1996 as well, Spike Lee got Prince to submit a bunch of songs for the Girl 6 motion picture soundtrack, and this is a Japanese copy of that CD, which includes songs like She Spoke to Me, Pink Cashmere, Count the Days, Girls and Boys, Screams of Passion, Nasty Girl by Vanity 6, Erotic City, Hot Thing, Adore, you know, the song Girl 6 by the New Power Generation. So it's a whole like mix from different eras and different artists. Like, you know, Vanity 6 and The Family, and yeah, it was all Prince for that soundtrack, which is really cool. All right, here's another interesting album from the 90s. I believe this is also 96, Chaos and Disorder, and this was just like Prince fulfilling his contractual obligations. Really like kind of grungy rock for Prince. I like the songs Dinner with Dolores on here, Right the Wrong, Xana Lee, I Rock, Therefore I Am, and Dig You Better Dead. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a departure from Prince's normal sound. And of course I've got the re-release, the Blue Spec 2, most current version, or most current, you know, pressing, basically. It's the same music. And that's what that looks like. We're gonna jump to 1998, and essentially Prince has released the Crystal Ball set. This is the Fat Boy set, you know, from 98, and essentially these are like Prince wanted to put out all of his bootleg. He had a lot of bootleg songs that had been circulated in poor quality, and he wanted everyone to have a nice crystal clear copy. And you could order these online. This one's from 97, actually. This is the 4-disc set in what they call the Puck. And it's got also the Truth album. There was a 5-disc set, which unfortunately I don't have, which had the Kama Sutra album. But you can see right on there on the discs it says bootleg, right? So he's kind of like poking fun at all the bootleggers that used to distribute his music. Again, I never partook in any of that illegal activity in the 90s, bootlegging. So, but yeah, some cool songs on here. Obviously the Crystal Ball title track. Let me think. You know, there's he re-released like Good Love and Movie Star. You know, what other songs? The Truth album, there's some really good ones, like you know, Animal Kingdom is his like vegan song. Welcome to the Dawn acoustic. The Truth is all like acoustic, right? So it's him and his guitar. Comeback, which was really written for his son. But yeah, this is an essential addition to any Prince collection. I've also got The Truth as a standalone release, which is really cool. Only available from the 1-800 New Funk stores and you know, call-in number. Here, this artwork, it says here, designed by Park. That's Steve Park in 1997. And yeah, from the forthcoming acoustic recording of The Truth. This is The Truth single, excuse me, and it's just The Truth and Don't Play Me. But again, very rare kind of CD to have. New Power Soul by the MPG. New Power Soul, very funky album. You know, lots of amazing 90s stuff. He was working with, what's his name, Graham and Shaka Khan, Larry Graham. I have his CD here. But New Power Soul has some amazing songs like Come On, The One, you know, Mad Sex, Shoo-Ba-Doo, and Funky Music, Freaks on this side, all on this album, New Power Soul. And, you know, again, at that point in time, he was also, you know, writing for and producing these albums for Shaka Khan. And he would sell these kind of together, like the New Power Soul CD with the Shaka, you know, buy the Shaka Khan CD, and I got a couple copies of that, and then I got a couple copies of this GCS, Graham Central Station, 2000, and Prince was involved with these albums. Got a couple copies of those from 1998. We've also got this Rhythm of Your Heart from 1998, Maite again. Written by Prince, and there's a couple versions on here, as well as the song In Your Gracious Name. Okay, so now onto this interesting CD, which is it's called, from the show Living Single, if you can remember that 90s show with Queen Latifah. This is the music from and inspired by the hit TV show. And there's a song by Shaka Khan on here called Pain. Prince wrote that song, Pain. I believe this is the only version of that song you can find is on this CD. So yeah, check it out. I mean, even this one's sealed actually, but the original $16.99 price tag is a bargain now for this one, because it's really difficult to find. Okay. Annie DeFranco to the teeth. I think in the 90s, Prince loved Annie, and he offered her a song on here, which I forget which one it is. Anyway, one of these songs is on here. It's not a great album. I haven't really given it a lot of listen time. It's sort of it's sort of a weird one, but anyway. Okay, Johnny Lang. We have the song or the album "Wander This World," and this album contains the song "I Am," which was written by Prince, and Prince gave it to Johnny Lang, a great blues guitarist, in 1998 to include on this A&M Records CD. This is the Canadian version. All right, also in 1998, we've got another Tevin Campbell. This is a Tevin Campbell promo CD. You know, not sure if there's any Prince involvement on that one, but essentially, you know, Tevin Campbell, can't talk about Tevin without talking about Prince. There you go. This is an interesting CD. Van Gogh, very rare compact disc. It was only available again through, you know, mail order or 1-800-NEW-FUNK. And Van Gogh, so Prince wrote the song Van Gogh for the band Van Gogh. And these guys were a band that, you know, Prince wanted to give a song to a band that had some handicap, some disabilities, and so all the members of this band Van Gogh are in wheelchairs, and he thought that was an interesting thing to get involved with and give them one of his songs. So there you have it, another rarity. Prince, The Vault, Old Friends for Sale. Again, this is from 1999. He's completing his Warner Brothers obligations, contractual obligations, and somewhere on the liner notes of this one, he says something like, you know, these songs were recorded for personal use only, but he compiled it into this record. So there's songs like Five Women, again, The Rest of My Life, She Spoke to Me, My Little Pill, Old Friends for Sale, Sarah, and Extraordinary. It's actually a good little album of songs. I like it. All right, so 1999, big release for Prince. He's working with Arista and MPG Records, of course, and comes out with Rave, Unto the Joy Fantastic. I remember driving around the summer of 1999, listening to this. Just such a cool record. Lots of collabs on here with guys like, you know, Chuck D. Sorry, her name's escaping me. Sheryl Crow. Sheryl Crow is on here. They do a song, Baby Knows. You know, other good songs on here are the Undisputed, The Greatest Romance Ever Sold is probably my favorite song on this album. And yeah, there's a few different versions. Actually, so this one, and he came out with a remix album, very confusing, because this one's called Rave Into the Joy Fantastic, and the original Rave Unto the Joy Fantastic. You can see very slight differences in the cover artwork, but basically each song is remixed on Rave Into. And Rave Into, as a CD, very, very rare. Rave Unto, you know, you'll find copies at your local record store for sure. Still, you know, vintage copies. And here we've got the original release, Japanese release, with this sort of silver foil OBI and back panel on the CD. Another couple rare, so Greatest Romance Ever Sold got a single release with radio edit, Neptune's remix edit, Adam and Eve remix, album version, Jason Nevins remix, Neptune's extended remix. I mean, there's a lot of remixes on here. There's 3 different versions. There's like the little cardboard sleeve version. There's the hefty, digipack, they call it, digipack version, and then there's the jewel copy version, the jewel case copy version. Another CD single, super rare, from Rave into the Joy Fantastic, is the Man of War CD single. I'll just open this one up so you can take a look at this one, because it's really cool the way that he does it here. It's got the clear outer, so it kind of looks like a 3-inch CD, but it's a 5-inch CD. And again, I would say there's probably only a couple hundred of these in the world. So, you know, it's got Rave into the Joy and The Greatest Romance Ever Sold. Oh no, sorry, that's the follow-up. Man of War just has the radio edits with and without the guitar solo, and just his like call-out track, you know. But yeah, this was a promo only, I believe. Yeah, extremely rare. If you find one out in the wild, you know, for sure grab it. I put a value of maybe $600-700 Canadian on that CD. Easy. Okay, Prince 1999 single. This is when he was re-recording his masters. So you've got 1999, How Come You Don't Call Me Anymore, DMSR. And these are all like his songs that he re-recorded in 1999, so they're not the original versions. Moving right along, Maceo Parker, another longtime Prince collaborator. Prince loved working with Maceo because, of course, Maceo has all those ties to James Brown, and so Prince loved James Brown, and on this album he does a instrumental version of The Greatest Romance Ever Sold, and I think you know, yeah, I think that's it. I think that's the Prince connection on here. And of course, at this point in time, Maceo was touring with Prince and the MPG. Here's another Sheila E. record that's got, you know, some, no real Prince involvement on here, but a lot of like Minneapolis alumni. Eric Leeds is on here, as well as Renato Neto, or Renato Nito, not sure how you pronounce it. This one is called Rites of Passage, and it's from the year 2000. Produced by Sheila E., the E-Train, for Heaven Productions Music and Concord Records, Inc. So yeah, that's it's a good little album. Here's a CD single. One side we've got When Will We Be Paid, and the other side is You Make My Sun Shine, and that's Prince with Angie Stone. Angie Stone's a singer. Okay. Another MPG member album, Rhonda Smith. And this is really cool, IntelliPop. This was available from the MPG music store in the 2000s, online music store. This is released in 2000 from Slow Wine Music. And yeah, it's really cool, funky music. Rhonda was the bass player in the MPG for many years. Nika Costa, there's a song on here called Everybody's Got Their Something, which she performed with Prince live a few times. It's on a couple of DVD recordings that I'm sure you've seen from that era, around 2000, and I just thought I'd include that because again, it's sort of a hard CD to find. Not extremely rare, just a little more difficult to find. There's also a song called Push and Pull on here that Nika Costa performed with Prince a few times. Okay, 2001, we've got the Rainbow Children. And the Rainbow Children was like Prince's jazz album. Critics didn't love it, although, you know, it's got some really cool tracks on here. This is the more recent reissue, again, the Blu-ray spec, or Blue Spec 2 CD version, which is super high quality. And we've got this Thailand version, almost lost those. This one's the Thai version of the Rainbow Children, and it's got this cool cover. This is a really difficult CD to find, obviously an import, and you know, I would say this is going for at least $200 these days. But this album had really, you know, a mix of jazz. I like this jazzy funk thing he was doing at the time. The Everlasting Now, 1 + 1 + 1 is 3. What else? The Work, super funky. Muse to the Pharaoh, and of course the title track, The Rainbow Children. Prince always had to have like a song that was part of the, or was like the album concept, and then he'd write like a title track for that album. This is a super rare CD single that Prince released, actually 3 different CD singles at the time when he was touring in 2001. This one's called Super Cute, and on the back there's Underneath the Cream. And yeah, there was a couple others like Gamilla and the, forget the other one, but there's 3 of them from this era. I've only got the one, unfortunately, but I'm happy to have that one. I would put a value on that at least 350 Canadian. Okay, then also in 2001, they released the very best of Prince compilation. Includes songs like I Wanna Be Your Lover, classics like 1999, Little Red Corvette, Alphabet Street, Kiss, you know, Money Don't Matter Tonight, Cream, all your favorites, except this one is from Australia, and they did a misprint, and that's why the color is all funky and it looks like an X-ray kind of. Somebody messed up the digital file, and I'm sure they got fired or something, but you know, that's a collectible now. Okay, also in 2001, we've got Alicia Keys, Songs in A Minor, and this album featured How Come You Don't Call Me? And that's a classic Prince B-side song that he gave her permission to use on this album, and Prince was a big fan of Alicia Keys, actually. I remember him mentioning her name a few times in interviews back in the day. Also, so we're into 2002 now. Days of Wild. I may have a few things out of order we'll come back to, but Days of Wild, really cool single, live in Montreal. This one has Days of Wild single edit, concert mix, and then 1 + 1 + 1 is 3, the song. And I just love it because it's from a Canadian concert, you know. All right, 2002, yeah, we've got No Doubt, Rock Steady, classic 90s album, or 90s, we're into 2002, but you know, classic 90s band, No Doubt, and Prince wrote the song Waiting Room, produced it with No Doubt for this album. That's what the CD looks like inside. And you know, lots of kind of dub and reggae sort of sounds, reggae rock on this album. Also in 2002, we've got One Night Alone Live, an amazing set that Prince released, 3-disc set, and it comes with this wonderful booklet. I'll show it to you. And then of course, if you're lucky, you get the solo piano and voice CD that came with it. So you know, it's actually a 4-disc set, the deluxe version. And this one also came with like a big poster I'm not going to open that up right now, but you can probably see, you can see it online if you look it up. It's got this cool piano graphic on the side. And yeah, I mean, the booklet's really cool. Lots of, you know, lyrics and written reviews and stuff on his show. Back in 2002, as everyone knows, Prince was quite the performer and toured all the time. They re-released this set a few years back. And they included the DVD at the Aladdin in Las Vegas from that year, which is a cool addition to this whole set and sort of completes the picture of what he was up to in 2002. I think that is the performance where Nika Costa, where they do the push and pull, and they do the other Nika Costa song. Why am I blanking on it? Anyway, really definitive collection, amazing CD collection. Highly recommend it. Some more associated artists. Common, this is a CD called Electric Circus, and there's a song on here called Star 69, which Prince has a co-writing credit for. As well, in 2002, we've got the group Millennia. Really hard to find CD. Our Story is the name of the CD, and there's a couple, you know, Prince is involved here writing one of these songs. It's a terrible group and CD. It's just, you know, if you want everything that Prince has ever written, you got to get this one as well. He produced it. Okay, here's another Brown Mark CD. Again, it's busted up. It's really, it's kind of a strange one. It's called Cryptic by Brown Mark. Okay, 2002. I'm not going to go into this one too much because it's not really a great CD, to be honest. All right, moving right along, 2004, big year, 2004 for Prince, Musicology. I love this album because he was in Toronto, living in Toronto. He had remarried at this point, and he had a house on the Bridle Path, which is really close by to us here, off of Bayview Avenue in Toronto. And I've got a couple versions. This is the one that I picked up at the concert. He would give away this album to everybody who went to his concert Musicology tour in 2004. I've got 2 copies in here, and this is the copies I received when I went to the concert. This is the Japanese Blue Spec CD2. You know, and again, it's really cool because I think the cover art is a picture of some snowy scene from Canada in Toronto. And we've got a couple singles from this era, including Prince, Cinnamon Girl. Cinnamon Girl was the big song. This has Dear Mr. Man, as well as United States of Division, and a Dear Mr. Man live at Webster Hall video on this particular CD, and this is released by Columbia Records. All right, another MPG only release, MPG Music Club in 2004, 2005, released this album called News, and it's a really jazzy album, directed by Prince, engineered by Jess Sutcliffe, mixed by Prince. You know, and it's got this cool package that opens up kind of like a star, and every song on here is like a different direction. So north, east, west, and south are the 4 songs on this record. Eric Leeds is on here, John Blackwell, who else? John Blackwell on drums, Rhonda Smith, bass player, and Prince. That's all he needed. 4 guys, 4 songs, and you got an amazing jazz album. Now, if I can only figure out how to put it back together here. There we go. Just takes a little patience, and yeah, really unique packaging on this piece. Okay, 2004, Prince also contributed to this Stevie Wonder album, A Time to Love, and here's a CD single from the album as well. The song is called So What the Fuss, and Prince plays guitar essentially on this song. Big Stevie Wonder fan, so of course I've got to have these. All right. SST and Brand New Orleans. This is a CD that Prince came out with right after in 2005, after the Hurricane Katrina disaster in New Orleans, and the proceeds of this single, it says on the CD, will benefit hurricane relief efforts. For more information, visit mpgmusicclub.com. And yeah, it's a pretty neat CD. Again, really hard to come by these days. I'd value it at around $60 Canadian. Another Nika Costa CD. I think this one does have some Prince involvement actually. I'd have to kind of look it up. I haven't listened to this one in a while, but yeah, Nika Costa, and the album is called Can't Never Did Nothing. Can't Never Did Nothing. There you go. There you have it. Another weird album name. This one, George Clinton. This one is called, George Clinton presents the P-Funk All-Stars. How late do you have to be before you are absent? How late do you have to be before you're absent? And there's a song on here called Paradigm, which features Prince. All right. 2006, a great album from Prince, 3121, with songs like Ti Amo Corazon, Black Sweat, The Word, Beautiful Loved Blessed, The Dance, and of course, Get on the Boat. This is a version of the CD with a Willy Wonka style win a private show by Prince at his home. Wow, that would have been really cool. I don't know if anybody won that or what happened in the end there, but I would have loved to do that. And the more recently released Blue Spec CD2. Gotta have it. Here's the Ti Amo Corazon CD single in the jewel case. I think that's the only version, jewel case. Claire Fisher, string arrangements. Produced, composed by Prince. Horns, Maceo, that's Maceo Parker. Candy Dolfer, Greg Boyer, I believe. And I don't know who Ray is. Ray. Bass, Josh Dunham. Drums, Cora Coleman Dunham. And there's timbales, bongo, and percussion by Herbert Urena. Okay. This is put out by Universal. And around this time, Warner Brothers came out with this compilation called Prince Ultimate. It's actually a really cool compilation. Two CDs, lots of really great songs like Get Off, 7, My Name is Prince, Sign of the Times, I Could Never Take the Place of Your Man, You Got the Look, Kiss, of course, Pop Life is on here, of course. Purple Rain, of course. Uptown, of course. All right. Another Rhonda Smith. Rhonda Smith, RS2. RS2, there is a song on here featuring Prince, and I believe it's Time, the song Time. But actually my favorite song on this album it's called To Get With You by Rhonda Smith. And she's an amazing bass player that toured with Prince for many, many years. And the MPG, a member of the MPG. Okay, we're moving along to 2007. We've got Planet Earth. Planet Earth, and that's the lenticular cover you can see there. Planet Earth was an album Prince put out, at the time. Not one of my favorite albums, but it's got a couple really cool tracks on here. One in particular called Guitar, which I really love. And yeah, again, this is the original US version. This is an original Japanese with the obi. This is the Blue Spec CD2. Again, to complete my collection of Blue Specs. Okay, and then, at this time also, 2007, we've got Herbie Hancock. I bet you didn't know Prince contributed to a Herbie Hancock CD, but he did, and basically this is, it's called The Joni Letters, and, there was, it's obviously for Joni Mitchell. He's paying homage to Joni and doing his thing. Well, Prince also was a big fan of Joni Mitchell's, and I think it's Edith and the Kingpin with Tina Turner. So yeah, I think he's on that track as well, playing guitar. I mean, Prince's guitar playing is unbelievable, and of course, why wouldn't a guy like Herbie Hancock want his guitar playing on his album? Here's another TV show soundtrack for the show Heroes. I'm not sure if you remember that show. I'm just including this because the music composed and performed for this TV show is by Lisa Coleman and Wendy Malvoin. Yeah, it's just an interesting one. Okay, Prince Lotus Flower. This is 2009, and it includes 3 CDs: the Lotus Flower CD, Minneapolis Sound as a separate, a separate album. It's like 3 albums in one. And then this album by his latest protege at the time, 2009, Bria Valente, and her album was called Elixir. Not a big fan of hers, but the Minneapolis Sound album on here is excellent, in my opinion. Like songs like Valentina, Old School Company, Chocolate Box, Dance for Me, really, really cool stuff. Okay, 2010. 2010, we've got the album 2010 with songs like Compassion, Beginning, Endlessly, Future Soul Song, Sticky Like Glue, Act of God, Laveau, Walk in Sand, Sea of Everything, Everybody Loves Me, and the hidden track on here is called Lay Down. Lay Down. All right. Another protege, this one is signed. It's called Andy Allo, or Andy Allo is the artist. It's called Superconductor. It's signed by her, and there's a lot of Prince is on this album for sure. It's executive produced by MPG. MPG is Prince. My favorite song on here, either Yellow Gold or When Stars Collide. I also like the song People Pleaser. All right, also from 2012, this is a Portuguese artist, Ana Moura Desfado, and there is a song here that Prince is involved in. I don't know which one it is, but Ana Moura. Okay. Janelle Monáe, I thought I'd include that because there's a song on here called Giving Them What They Love, and that features Prince. The album is called The Electric Lady by Janelle Monáe. This album also features Chaka Khan, Miguel, and Esperanza Spalding. All right. Andre Simone album. No Prince association here, but the album's called The Stone, and of course, Andre Simone was Prince's collaborator for many years and his childhood friend. Another Sheila E. This is a promotional copy, not for sale. It's called Icon, and you know, there is something Prince on here, of course. Of course, I don't know which one it is. Nasty Thing, no, that's Sister Fate Music. Oh, Leader of the Band featuring the E Family and Prince. So he's playing along with Sheila on this one. Liv Warfeld, The Unexpected. Liv Warfeld was singing back up with Prince at this point. This is 2013, I believe. And so basically, yeah, there's the Unexpected, which is the song that Prince wrote, and Prince is also an executive producer on this album. We saw her back in 2018 at the Dakota in Minneapolis. They were amazing band playing with her. That was a lot of fun. Okay, Third Eye Girl, we have Plectrum Electrum, Prince and the Third Eye Girl. You know, wasn't my favorite album, but I know, you know, a lot of people liked the Third Eye Girl, and Donna Grantis is from Toronto, so there's that cool Toronto connection again, as well as this album, Artificial Age, which I think was actually a really successful album. Artificial Age, and you got that cool picture from Paisley Park on the back, and it features songs like Funk and Roll, title track Artificial Age, and some others. You know, Andy Allo is on here again. The Third Eye Girl is playing along. Okay, so then we're moving on right along to the end of Prince's career. This is 2015, the album Hit and Run Volume 1, or excuse me, Phase 1, not Phase 1, Hit and Run Phase 1, with $1 Million Show, Shut This Down, Ain't About to Stop, This Could Be Us, you know, Hard Rock Lover, 1,000 Hugs and Kisses, and the song June, which was Prince's birthday month. And we've got a Japanese version of Hit and Run Phase 1, as well as Hit and Run Phase 2, which essentially was Prince's last album in 2015. He died in 2016. This has songs like Baltimore, Rock and Roll Lover, Extra Lovable, which he had a few different versions. Extra Lovable, Big City, Screwdriver. Yeah. And so from there, you know, we got a couple of singles. This one, Rock and Roll Love Affair, and it's got a couple of remixes: Jamie Lewis Club Mix, Original Radio Mix, Jamie Lewis Stripped Down Radio, Original Extended Mix, written, produced by Prince, of course. Okay. Then we've got Judith Hill. Judith Hill, this is really like, it says right here, produced by Prince and Judith Hill. I think this copy, I got a signed copy. Yeah, there it is, in gold ink, Judith Hill. Judith was there, you know, on the plane the week Prince passed away, and kind of saw the fentanyl addiction, I guess, firsthand. Anyway, they worked together. I believe they were also dating at the time that Prince passed, and this album they did together is called Back in Time. Some of the songs I like are As Trains Go By, you know, and Back in Time, the title track, and Wild Night. You know, those are some of my favorites. Okay, so right after Prince died, they came out with this Prince Forever compilation, which has 2 CDs. It's a really great compilation, actually. I love the way that they put it together. The packaging and everything is beautiful. And it also featured the addition of Moonbeam Levels, which, you know, previously had never been released before. And then the other one was like Alphabet Street and Glam Slam, which they said were previously unavailable on CD, but you know, I have the promo CDs, so unavailable to everyone else. Okay, this is Autism Rocks Prince Tribute Mix. I don't know, I'm including this because it's sort of a rare mix from June 24th, 25th, 2016 at Hammersmith Apollo London. Autism Rocks to host tribute gig in honor of Prince with CeeLo Green, Mark Ronson, Morris Day and the Time, and Larry Graham. You know, and so there's the soundtrack, essentially. All right, so after Prince died, I mean, there were a bunch of, you know, the Prince alumni, the Minneapolis guys in 2016, 2017, they all came out with their albums. This one is one of the Third Eye Girls albums, the bass player Ida Nelson. Yeah, it's full of bass, this one. And it's in this little slim CD case. We've got a saxophone player for Prince who came out with this album called Leap. It's called Leap, and it's got a bunch of like, you know, a song called Slow Down, which is dedicated to Prince, and lots of tributes to him at this time. Eric Leeds and Paul Peterson with Leeds Peterson Music. LP is the group, and the title of this album is called No Words. Prince's sister Sharon Nelson produced at Paisley Park after Prince's death Don't Play With Love, the John L. Nelson Project. This is written music that Sharon Nelson had of Prince's fathers, and she had musicians come into the studio, play the music so we could all enjoy it, recorded it, and put it out on this CD, which is really cool. I got it in Minneapolis when I was there. Another Andre Simone CD, which pays tribute to Prince. This one's called 1969. Sheila E. And she, on this album, she does a version of America, classic Prince song from Around the World in a Day album. This one's called Iconic Message for America. I actually really love this version of America, and the album is really cool, and you know, very much like a political kind of American political message. Shelby J, great singer that toured with Prince right up until his death. And there's no Prince involvement obviously here. This came out after he passed. The album's called 10. This is CeCe Peniston. CeCe did the Purple Funk, Mother's Favorite Child. You know, that's also a tribute to Prince. Okay, so then we've got Piano and Microphone 1983. So they pulled out of the vault these recordings, which are basically Prince rehearsing on the piano, just him and a tape recorder. Songs like 17 Days, Purple Rain, A Case of You, which is a Joni Mitchell song, Mary Don't You Weep, Strange Relationship, International Lover, Wednesday, Cold Coffee and Cocaine, and Why the Butterflies. Some of these songs we'd never heard before, but again, it's just Prince kind of toying around on the piano and rehearsing on his own time. Okay, another Janelle Monáe. This one's called Dirty Computer. And there's a song on here, Dirty Computer, called Make Me Feel. It's called Make Me Feel, and I believe that Prince actually produced the beats and the song for this, and Janelle Monáe, he kind of gave it to her, and she put it out, you know, in, I think it was 2017, 2018. Okay, Prince Originals. This is the Japanese version. Prince Originals is a CD of all the original tapes that Prince created to give to these artists that we've been looking at. You know, when he would write a song for the artist, he would record all the instrumentation and give it to the artist, say, hey, what do you think of this? And then even allow them to just re-record the vocals and leave all the instrumentation. So we have the original versions that he created for songs like Sex Shooter, Jungle Love, Manic Monday, Noon Rendezvous, 100 Miles Per Hour, Holly Rock, The Glamorous Life, Dear Michelangelo, Nothing Compares to You, you know, Love Thy Will Be Done. And it's a really, really neat compilation. I'm glad they put that out there. Good for you, Estate. We need more stuff from the vault, you know. I just thought I'd include this because it's so Minneapolis. I mean, Jelly Bean Johnson, come on. This guy played with The Time for so many years, and now he's playing guitar in his own band, the Jelly Bean Johnson Experience, and put some jelly on it. That's what this is called, put some jelly on it with 3 different edits. Another Lisa Coleman, this is a Lisa Coleman release, online release, and it's you know, it's very kind of introspective music. It says it was recorded at home and at the Treehouse in California. Written, produced, performed by Lisa Coleman, the piano player for the Revolution, or keyboard player, I should say. Here's another Ida Nelson bass player CD. You know, it's called Time to Stop Worrying About the Weird Stuff. All right. Next, we've got the most recent release, full release, I would say, from the estate. It's called Welcome to America, and this is an album Prince had planned to put out. It was fully produced, but you know, in full Prince fashion, he just decided to pull out on it, and he didn't release it because he started working on other stuff, and you know, for whatever reason, the estate released it after his death, and there's some really cool songs on here. Like the title, Welcome to America. This is the Japanese version. Blue Spec 2, CD2, and they also have a deluxe version, you know, that came with a Blu-ray of a concert live at the Forum from April 28th, 2011. But yeah, like the album has some really cool songs, like Stand Up and Be Strong. What's another one I like? 1010, Rin Tin Tin, and let's see, 1,000 Light Years from Here. I mean, this is actually a really classic Prince album, you know, and I'm really happy they came out with that. Okay, and the last CD I have to share is the most recent 2021. This is a Miles Davis CD. But he plays 2 Prince songs on this CD. It's called Live at Vienne, and it's called Merci Miles. The songs Penetration and Jailbait were Prince-written songs that he performed. And this is the first time it's come out. This is a Made in Germany CD, and it's a historic performance. So with that, I think I covered everything. I've got this Controversy Live single, you know, from 2003. This was performed by Prince and the MPG in Hawaii, December 2003. Very rare CD single. Mine's still sealed. I'm sure I've got a few other CDs hanging around that I didn't include. And definitely there are some CDs that I don't have, like as I mentioned, I don't have everything, so You know, CDs I'd love to get in the collection, a copy of The War on CD would be up there. The Purple Rain gold, 24 karat gold CD would be really cool to have. Again, the CD singles from 2001, like to complete my collection there. The Gamilla CD and the Peace CD, which had like a pyramid on the cover. Those I'd like to add. What else? You know, the interactive CD-ROM, I don't have that one. So I'd like to pick up a copy of that at some point. And I don't have a copy of the Lewis Connection, which was recently released on Japanese release. I think, oh, and the gold, you know, N-Word by the MPG as the full standalone album release. I'd love to have a copy of that in my collection. Let me know what you thought of my video. You know, if you stuck around this long, then you must really love Prince, or you must really love CDs. Like me, I love both. And I hope to come at you with another video soon, sooner than later. Let me know what I should be reviewing. I have a great collection of Prince tour books. I could go through that with you guys. You know, for now, thanks again, and please leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think, and what CDs you have that I haven't reviewed today, or which are your favorite. Peace and be wild.